everyone, and welcome to another episode of the RDG Sports Channel. How you all doing out there? Can I get a round of applause? I love it every time. I'm nothing without you guys. We're going to talk about these draft picks, and we're going to talk about my grade on the Commanders draft picks. Right off the bat, we're going to start off with Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State. I already made 2 videos on him. Emmanuel Forbes is going to be one of the elite cornerbacks in the NFL before it's all said and done. You heard it here first from the RDG Sports Channel. Emmanuel Forbes is going to be one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Trust me, I stamped that. Just like I stamped Sam Howell, I stamped Emmanuel Forbes. I made a video so I don't have to get into the intangibles of the player, his skill set, none of that stuff. I already made 2 videos on him. Next player up, Jartavius Martin out of Illinois. Goes by the name of Quan. That's what I'm referring to him as, Quan. The guy could play the Buffalo nickel. He could play free safety. He can also play the slot corner. Whatever you need, he's in there. He can do it for you. I like this guy. Great pick by Martin Mayhew, Ron Rivera, etc., etc. They did their due diligence. I like this guy because he can give us so many options. We can disguise. We can play different types, styles of defense on the back end. We can disguise. We can do all sorts of things. Great pick. Jack Del Rio, thank you for mentioning him. Thank you for mentioning Emmanuel Forbes. You guys are on your job right now. The next pick, Ricky Stromberg out of Arkansas, the Razorbacks. Get an applause for Ricky Stromberg. I love it. All I smell is the beef, the bacon, whatever you want, the big sloppy, the big uglies, whatever you want to call them, the guys in the trenches. We need that. I get happy when I see a big old fat, ugly, strong guy that's ready to block and move guys out the way. That's what we need. We need more guys like that. Matter of fact, if we'd have drafted all offensive linemen and defensive linemen, I'd have been happy with that right there. You can't win games without having the big nasties, the big uglies in the trenches. Stromberg is a guy that can play multiple O-line positions. His strong suit is center. That's what we need bad. We need a center bad. So Stromberg is an excellent pick. I like that pick. That was a good pickup. We needed a signal caller right there at that position because our guy stays hurt all the time. He stays hurt, and it seems like when we plug a guy in there, it falls off. And that's what happens when you play around with that offensive lineman. It's good to have depth, but you can't have a drop-off as dramatic as that. You got to have guys that can play, that can come in, and it won't be a major drop-off. That's been our problem the last 3 to 4 years with the offensive lineman. Every time we lose an offensive lineman, we have a big drop-off. That needs to cut out. We need quality guys coming in. Ron Rivera keep getting these plug-in guys that when they come in the game, the drop-off is terrible. And I'm not even going to mention those 2 guys we had last year that was starting. Those guys, I don't even want to utter their names out of my mouth right now. It's sickening to even think about them. Matter of fact, I had nightmares about those guys. Fletcher Cox just ran all through those guys.
Wow.
You know, it was atrocious to watch. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't take it. I couldn't wait for the season to be over for them to address the offensive lineman. And thank you, Lord, they did. Okay, the next pick, the 4th pick, Braden Danes out of Utah, 6'4", 297 pounds. Big old offensive lineman. I think for right now, he's going to be a backup. He's going to be a backup. He's not ready to start. You know, his feet still got to get wet. You know, he's got to get some confidence. He's got to learn his techniques. You know, he just got to get experience on his belt. And I think once all those things take place, I think Braden Danes will be good for us. You know, I don't know about great, but he could be a good player starting off. Maybe he could become great. But I also like that pick for a backup. Now these next 3 picks, well, KJ Henry and Andre Jones is going to be like the developmental special teams guys. You know, they're going to be spot duty guys. They're not going to be your every down guys. talking about KJ Henry and Andre Jones, but I'm gonna get to Andre Jones. KJ Henry, this guy is not the fastest guy, is not the biggest guy, but he's got a motor. You know, that's the biggest thing about KJ Henry. He has a motor and he has a will to keep fighting when the play, even if the play is dead, he's still gonna fight. He's still gonna fight, and I like that. You gotta have fighters, and that right there is an intangible for him to be a special teams player. Those are special teams intangibles. He'll be a solid special team player. We need that. And he also a depth player. You know, he need to work on his skills, hone in on some of his techniques, get some moves, and he'll be a special teams player. But if we need him for emergency situation, you know, we got depth, you know. The sleeper of this draft, Chris Rodriguez. This guy, you guys, I'm telling you. This guy, I did research on this guy, watched his highlights and stuff like that. This guy is a workhorse. He's the type of guy, he put the hard hat on, he got the lunch pail, he's ready to go to war. He's ready to get down and dirty in the trenches. He's like a Brian Robinson. Those are the type of running backs we need. He's a true running back. He's not Antonio Gibson. He's not that style of a back. Antonio Gibson runs too tall. This guy runs low and he uses power. Antonio has a lot of size with him. He has a lot of weight, but he don't know how to use that. He don't know how to shed those. He don't know how to go and bust through those tackles. He's trying to get there, but he's still not quite there. You can tell he's not comfortable with that yet. So Antonio Gibson, I don't think that they're going to sign him to his after his 4th year's up. I don't think they're going to give him extension. I don't think they're going to re-sign him. That's why this is a Irk Bieniemy pick also. Chris Rodriguez, he's an Irk Bieniemy guy. He's like Pacheco of Kansas City. He's that style of a runner, you know, but Pacheco is a little bit faster. Chris Rodriguez got a little bit burst. He's got a little bit more burst than Brian Robinson, but Brian Robinson has more power, but this guy, he don't mind getting dirty. He don't mind trying to run people over. He could break through tackles. He's a shifty guy. He's like an Ernest Biner mixed with a Ricky Urbans. You know, we need that guy. We need that 1-2 power punch. You know, it's remind me of Gerald Riggs, Ricky Urbans, and Ernest Biner. You know, Gerald Riggs meaning Brian Robinson, that guy that you're going to get for that 3rd and 1, that 4th and 1, that 4th and inches, that 4th and 2. You know, Chris Rodriguez is the guy that you can, you know, if it's like 3rd and 5, you don't mind giving him a draw, line up in the shotgun and handing the ball off to Chris Rodriguez. Get you those 5 yards when the team is thinking you're going to pass. You know, or you can throw it out the backfield, screen to Chris Rodriguez. This guy can catch. He also can catch. He didn't catch a lot of balls at Kentucky, but he can catch. You know, he showed that he has hands. So this is a guy that's durable. This is a guy that can start, you know, when Antonio Gibson time is up. This is a guy that you can plug right on in and won't miss a beat. Probably improve the running game more better. This guy know how to set up his blocks, know how to read his blocks, know how to run between the tackles. So, yeah, this is a guy that I'm high on. Look for Chris Rodriguez in the next year to be the starting running back. Andre Jones, last but not least. 7th round always been a plus for us. I like this guy, Andre Jones. Even though he's a developmental player, this guy has a high motor. This guy is relentless. He goes all in, but he has no moves. He only has one move, and that's go. Go get the quarterback. That's his only move. You know, which is good when you're a 3rd down pass rusher, 3rd and long. You want to put a guy like Andre Jones in there on the outside if something goes wrong with Chase Young, or if Montez Sweat or Chase Young need a spell, you put a guy like Andre Jones on one of their sides and tell him to go. Go get it. Go get the quarterback. Go get paid. Go get your food. Go get your lunch. So Andre Jones is the type of guy that you need. You need a high motor guy on your team. Once again, he may not be. I don't know if he's going to make the team this year. He may go into the practice squad, but you don't want to cut him. You don't want to release a guy like that. You want to put him on the practice squad for about a year. You know, he's raw. You know, he's uncut. You want to keep him on that practice squad. And then that next year, or if somebody get hurt this year, one of our defensive linemen get hurt this year, you know, you bring a guy up, Andre Jones, you bring him up and you have him on your team. He could be a 3rd down specialist, you know. You need a guy like that. But I would definitely, if anything, depending on how the depth chart is and how everything is shaping up, I'll definitely keep Andre Jones around on the practice squad for about a year and let him hone in on the skills and stuff like that. And then, yeah, I think that's a good pick. I think that's a pick. He's out of Louisiana. KJ Henry out of Clemson. 6'4", 255 pounds. Sorry I didn't give the college. Chris Rodriguez out of Kentucky, 5'11", 224 pounds, big guy. And Andre Jones out of Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, 6'5", 252 pounds. The guy has height. He has the size. He need to get a little bit more bulky. That's the only thing that I can hop on. Maybe they can use him like as a standing linebacker, outside linebacker. Depending on the packages, you could probably use him as a standing linebacker, depending on the packages. You could use him on the defensive line and as a linebacker. He has the height. He can cover those fast, twitchy tight ends or those little running backs coming out the backfield. You know, I wouldn't hesitate to put him in those positions to do that. You know, of course, like I said, being on the practice squad, he can hone in on his skills. You know, get better. You know, so I like the overall pickups of the Washington Commanders, what they have done in the draft so far. My overall grade would be to give them an honest B-. And I say that because they didn't draft the tight end. They didn't get the linebacker that they needed. I think they pretty much satisfied with the linebacker spot. If you say so. But, you know, I think they're pretty satisfied with that spot. And that's why and I don't think they've seen too much in the draft to where as though they want to leap out there and snag something. I think they're satisfied with what they have on the team right now. If you say so. But and also the tight end position, I think they didn't like what they saw, and what they was looking for probably was already gone by the time that they was ready to choose one, decided to choose one. Probably the top 2 or 3 that they probably liked probably wasn't there, so that's why they decided not to draft a tight end. And we had 4 tight ends on the roster. You know, Thomas, Cole, Amari Rogers, and what's my other guy named, the big number 80. Anyway, you guys know who I'm talking about. Number 80, the blocking tight end. That's what I call him, the blocking tight end. He can catch the balls also, but he's mainly known, his skill set is blocking. But I guess they feel comfortable with those guys. And they just got to play by committee, because they don't want Logan Thomas. He's fell off. He lost a step. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. Logan Thomas lost a step. There's no secret about that. We all see it. But the injuries did it. You know, after he got that big contract, he kind of went downhill, you know. But they got to do it by committee. It's not one guy on the team that's going to carry the load. They got to do it by committee. You know, so if they can do that, we can slip past that. We got enough weapons in the backfield and on the outside that we can score points, manage to score points. But a tight end is always a quarterback's safety blanket, his quarterback's best friend. You see what Kelsey is to Patrick Mahomes. And the list goes on. You know, the guy in Philadelphia, how what he is to Jalen Hurts. I mean, I can go on and on, you know, but we definitely needed a tight end that can do both. Pass, catch, and block. That'll alleviate having 3 and 4 tight ends on your roster. That roster spot could be used for someone else. You know, think about that. But anyway, I give them a B- because they didn't draft the tight end and linebacker. They would have did those 2 things, I would have given them an A+, A-, who knows, depending on which linebacker they drafted and which tight end they drafted. But anyway, that's my assessment of the Washington Commanders draft for the 2023 season. And we was 8-8 last year, and this is a start on how you make your team better. We all right now, all 32 teams are 0-0. So come September, hopefully we'll start off the season 1-0, and we continue that winning streak throughout. It's been fun, you guys. About to end this episode. Thank you for tuning in. And once again, I'm nothing without you. You guys enjoy. Peace.